Amazing. So today our session is stop running the business, start designing it. We will keep it sharp. We will do a short intro, a light conversation with Robert Ehlert in the room, and then your questions. So for those who are new in here, I am Estefanía Badra, although I go by Epi. I am a growth partner for founders and leadership teams specialized in people and change management with a background in law, project management, and operations. I work in the intersection of leadership, organizational systems, and growth, helping founders build companies that perform without consuming them. Because I deeply believe that building a successful business should not mean sacrificing your happiness or your life. So just to place today in the bigger picture, in the founder freedom journey, the session 1, we went through one topic, which is, did I build a business or a prison? Then the session 2 evolved into, how do I align my leadership team? And today, the question is, how do I actually start working on the business? Because at some point, freedom stops being a time management problem and becomes more a company design problem. And this is exactly why I invited Robert. Because if we want to move from running the business to designing it, we need to learn how to step outside of it and actually see the system. Robert in here has built and scaled and exited more than 12 companies, and today works with founders and top executives on organizational design. What I particularly value about Robert is the way he looks beyond individual behavior and asks, what is the system producing this behavior and how do we redesign it? Which, as you will see today, leads him to some fairly radical conclusions. Robert, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here.
Good evening to all, and thank you, Estefania, for having me here in the talk.
Of course. Thank you so much, Robert. So let's go into the radical statements directly after the introduction. Welcome to the people that are new. We are just diving deep in. So I want to bring some statements, because when we were preparing this session, you said a few things that really stayed with me. Some are slightly provocative, which is exactly what I wrote them down. So let's put them on the table. The first one is, working in your own company makes you stupid. And Robert, that's a strong one. What do you mean?
I mean, the most founders or the most companies are existing to solve a specific problem of a customer. That's why one person founded this company. During the growing, during the gaining new customers, and in his day-to-day operations, the most entrepreneurs or founders are getting very busy with dealing with internal issues. So they deal with customer problems, they deal with suppliers, they have matters related to the bank or to accounting or to employees. And many of these problems which appear in a company when it's growing and it has more and more people, then many of these problems the founder is solving by himself, because, yeah, not everybody which he hired can solve the problem. On this way to solve permanently the problems, he gained a little bit the thinking that this is very good for his ego, by the way, also. He gained the thinking that only he can really solve it. This situation I see in my coachings, in my meetings with executives very, very often, and I hear it very often. So the ego is growing, it's getting bigger and getting stronger. And the founder or entrepreneur or CEO is spending less and less of his time on the real challenge faced by customers or the market. So he loses the sight of the market and the sight of the customer. He becomes the bottleneck in his own company. And this is not really smart. That's why I always mention it's stupid to work permanently in his own company with the daily problems and the daily tasks.
And this is maybe the why you make another radical statement, which is related with clients and the fact that if you don't work on the company,
Yeah,
then sooner or later your clients will disappear. Why? Why do you say that?
yeah. Customers are the foundation of your business. And the understanding of them and the working with them is in a long way and in a long term, work with them in a profitable way, is a core competence of your company. And when you lose the core competence of your company, so you lose, of course, in a long term, the client. And as a CEO or a business owner, it's very important and it's your most important task always to be close to your clients, to your customers and their needs, because you should shape your organization from the view of the customer. So that every employee in your company need to understand that the customer pays his salary, not you, not the CEO, not the owner. And as CEO, I need to have people and I need to choose people and to recruit people in my company which really actually can work with customers, which have really the mentality and the knowledge and the will to do it.
Hmm.
And work on the company will increase your profits.
Hmm. And then, before we go into our own little experiment, you have a third radical statement, which
Yeah,
is why your strategy can lead you directly into
yeah,
the arms of a psychotherapist. And this one made me
yeah,
laugh. So, can you explain the audience why?
yeah. 45% of psychotherapists' clients today are executives. This information is based on 6 international studies and surveys. Strategy here does not refer to the company's overall strategy. Instead, it means that the owner has a personal strategy or the wrong human picture in his head that he need to solve everything. So he get a micromanager. And in this moment, when you get a little bit like a micromanager, or you do all for your people, or you do the most, solve the most problems in your company, and the more you engage in this micromanagement, the more likely it's that you are experience overload, you experience burnout, and this is now the psychology thing, like a paralysis by analysis. It means you are know exactly that you need to act, but it's something keep you permanently back because you are already from your stress level, from your overload, like paralyzed.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
need to go out of your company and take a different view on it. That's why exists, for example, one solution, the helicopter perspective exercise.
Good. Good that you mentioned as well
Yeah.
the helicopter perspective, but also the human picture, which is the topic that we raised in the previous sessions. They are recording on YouTube in case you want to go and check them out after the meeting. So now I have a tiny exercise for the audience. Let's picture this together to you guys that are on the other side of the screen. We're gonna do a quick experiment. So imagine that you're running a company with 1,200 employees. How many emails do you think you would receive every day, every week? Drop a number in the chat. I'm curious to know what would be your number. How do you imagine this situation? Maybe you are already in this situation. How many emails do you receive a day or a week? Let me see the chat.
50.
50 a day, 200. Anybody else? Drop it in the chat. How many emails would you receive with 1,200 employees? 100 a day. Okay. Now, Robert, I think that we have a few answers now. Do you want to reply? Like, this is an actual case from Robert. Robert leads a company with 1,200 employees. There is another person saying 40, 45, unless you have a structure of team leads. Robert, do you want to reply to these questions? How many emails do you receive a week or a day?
I received in 1 week not more than 3 emails in my company. And I was running my company 18 years as CEO. Of course, it was not in from the beginning in this way, but the last 8 years, when I understood how really to design and organize a company in a much, much effective and better way, and what was my mistakes before. I learned a lot, of course, from my failing and my mistakes. But in this stage, in the last 8 years, when I was running my company, I got never more than 3 emails. If I got email number 4 in a week, I understood I made something wrong in the organizational design. I give some people not enough competence, or I hired the wrong people for the function and role which they should normally fulfill.
Very, very interesting. I believe this is as shocking as it is for the audience as it was for me at the very beginning. So now let's make this practical. I will we will start with a ping pong of questions. Okay, so we will make it practical. Imagine that now a founder is listening and thinking, okay, that's great, but what can I actually do differently on Monday? And in here, I have another question, which is, Robert, when you talk about helicopter perspective,
Yeah.
what exactly do you mean?
Okay. Um, when I work with companies and I tell the owners or CEOs or management teams to work on the company, this is not so easy understandable for many people, because in normal way, in normal business behavior, it's not so common. But it is very important that you change your perspective from time to time, how you look to your company. So the helicopter perspective means you can take your leadership team, you can take a close person, or you can even do it alone, like, for example, Estefania and me did for her company. And you take a white paper or some white papers, you take the first white paper in front of you. You are standing, you take this white paper and write down, this is your company. This white paper in the middle present your company. You put it on the floor in front of you. Around your white paper, you place other white papers. I see every company like a system. So a family, for example, is a system. A company is a system. So in the company, I give now a really clear statement. Companies normally exist without people. They exist from communication. So a system which has many parts around. You have a challenge with your company. You challenge yourself with suppliers. You have a connection to customers, connection to banks. So on the white papers around, you can put all the important facts which have to do with your company. You write down on any of the white paper, for example, this is a bank because can be in the moment you have a problem with bank. On the other, you put supplier. You can write down the name of supplier. You can write down what is the problem could be with the suppliers. And all your peripheria around your company, you write down on a single paper. Employees, also banks, accounting,
Mm,
whatever you have in this moment in the mind. And
good.
when you then stand in front and look from above to this, you see your company in a different perspective. This is called the helicopter perspective.
And
So
finish, please.
then in this moment, you should stop with anything. You should only listen to your inside feeling. What do you feel now? What is coming in your head? What you imagine in this moment about your company? And write it for yourself down.
And
Then go,
we will give you an
yeah.
exercise for you guys to take home as well and to be able to do it directly with
Mhm.
your own company.
Yeah.
So, Robert, a founder listening now might be thinking, okay, I have a company. Actually, this is a case from one of my clients, a real client. A founder merges two departments because
Mm.
logically it should like improve things on his way of thinking. But instead of that, the company got worse and they are in a complete chaos. Where did they go wrong?
Mm. Before an CEO or entrepreneur or company owner is making such a decision to merge something or to change something, they should take the time to answer the following questions first. For what specific problem is merging two departments exactly the solution? Okay? Try first to find an answer to this question. I repeat, for what specific problem is merging the two apartments exactly the solution? Second question, does the move make sense from our customer's perspective? Will it result in a benefit for our customer? So, these questions you should answer yourself before.
Mm, okay.
Not to work on the symptom. Try to find out, be curious, try to find out what is the really reason behind. Could be two people come to you from your company and want this merger, but you as a owner and you as a founder or CEO, you need to understand the reason behind. Okay.
Okay. And
So,
is this only for small companies or for big companies, or does it work as well for small companies?
no, wait, I want to make one more add on to the first part
Let's go.
of the two departments. When the questions are clarified, then we can take another break and work again for a sample in the helicopter perspective and look from above to our company from outside what we see when we do this merger. Okay. This is very interesting exercise and very interesting focus. Okay.
And going back to this question,
Yeah.
is this only for big companies, or people who are now running a smaller company can also benefit from this helicopter
No,
perspective and
it's
the questions?
no, it's not only for bigger companies. I do this work on the companies. I do this with a three person company, or I do it with 100,000 person company. It's just as important for entrepreneurs and small businesses. It's not about big or small. It's more about finding the right way to organize my work, my company, and the effective way and the valuable way for my life.
Mm, okay. And this leads me to another question, which is, how do I know when I'm done? When is it finished?
You are never done. Um, if you think you are done, you have already spent your future for nothing. The world, the technology, the people around you, and also your own needs and your own desires are constantly changing. And working on your business every 3 up to 5 months shows you what you need and what is really, really important for yourself to learn or to adapt.
Mm. Okay, so for this exercise that we understand we need to keep doing over and over with time, right? We want to leave you guys with a take-home tool. It's an actionable, practical, leaving like you something like practical, because as Robert was saying, working on the company is not something that you do once. It needs to become like a rhythm. So we call it get out to look in, because sometimes you can't see the problem because you're standing too close to it. So every 3 to 5 months, step out with your leadership team and map the company and its surroundings. Ask yourself, what changed? Then, based on these and based on the conversation that we had last week, redesign the system, not necessarily because something is broken, but because the context might have changed. So remember that working on the company, it's a recurrent habit, not an event. And we have created something, turned this into something that you can actually use. Get your phone ready to take a screenshot, or take a screenshot with in your laptop now. So we created this practical guide with the helicopter perspective and exercises that you can take in your next offsite with your leadership team conversation. Use it yourself, or even better, use it with your leadership team. Make a screenshot. If you have any questions or concerns, please drop me an email. And before we open the Q&A, I just want to give you a quick look at what we are going to touch base on next session, next Sunday, because today was about getting above the company. Next Sunday comes the target picture. So what is the future life and company that you're actually designing? This is not goals, this is not budget, this is not a strategy plan. Having said this, we open the Q&A session. You can drop it in the chat. There is also a specific box in Zoom that allow you to put your questions directly in there. So now this is over to you. What keeps you in the business? Let's bring one real situation so we can work on it. I will be monitoring the chat to see if there are any questions.
There was a question before, yeah.
Okay, perfect. If you grab the question, there is one question about LinkedIn Slack community. Is there a LinkedIn or Slack community I can join? Yes, there is. There is a WhatsApp group. I will be sharing the link through email after we are finished with the session. Then, okay, there is a comment from Barat. Interesting insights, how it was and how it has improved. And this question was about the 3 emails per week. Um, you were talking about receiving 3 emails per week and your learnings overall this process. What do you think, how it was the process and what has improved? If you have to pick like 1 or 2 things to reply to the question.
I hope I understood the question correct, but in my main learnings was that you never can change people, but you can change the framework of a company. So you can change the rules under the people have to work, and you can build a framework which is not stop or block the people from working effective and working in a good way. Okay. So this was one of my main learnings, and I studied systemic theory. And in the systemic theory, you understand exactly how these organizational systems, how companies should be structured to work with much higher performance as everybody can even imagine. Okay. And all my learnings together, I understood it's very practical if you have very good people. So I hire only people which are in their field better than me. And I have many of these people in my companies which are much, much better than myself. But I'm the one who control the framework. I take everything around them away which block them from perfect or effective working. And I did many, many other steps for this too, but the result was that I got less and less emails every week, which I need to decide. Because as a CEO of a 1,200 people company, which is stock listed, you have also other obligations to solve in, especially in Germany, which a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of rules around you. And so I told my people they should decide. I pay them good money, but I pay them that they do their decisions and that they use their brain in the working and really make decision and really solve the problems in their departments or in their function or role. So after this, I got less and less emails, and later on, it got my measurement more than 3 emails. I need to check what is wrong. So I went out of the company. I checked again my system, if the system and the DNA of the company is working, and I adapted or immediately adjusted it. Mostly it came out that one person in the right position had not enough competence from his contract or from the power to decide things. So I only adjusted the contract. I adjusted that this person can do the decision by themselves in the name of the company and in the sense of the company. And when you recruit and hire the right people, this is working perfect.
I love how you always address this autonomy and the framework within the autonomy. There is another good question from Peter. The question is, if you are a two-founder, small startup, at what point do you decide to hire and delegate? And how do you structure the team of freelancers, agencies versus In-house people.
Okay. I'm permanently a founder. So I'm permanently in founding process in the moment for three different companies. I'm helping and I'm on the side of entrepreneurs. So founding and building up is part of my life and my heart. And I want to answer the question. Doesn't matter if you work with freelancer, if you work with supplier, this, that, or that. You should, before you do your company, design your company. You should understand which system I will build and bring all these freelancers, service companies, doesn't matter whom, I bring into my system. Okay? So then when you design your working system, and I want to add on, you build your company to win customers, to win clients. And the customer requirement, the customer needs, the customer wishes or demands, this is your obligation how you organize your company. You organize your company under the umbrella of the client, not how you think it's better. You should understand exactly what your client need, your customer need, and this rule your organization inside. Okay? So doesn't matter if you put then freelancers or other people, doesn't matter. The main important thing is that the function and the role is clear. And now what you do is you make for every function or role, so it means for every freelancer, for every employee you hire, you make a clear paper where you write down your expectations as a company owner for this role and function. Okay? I do this with freelancers, I do this with service partners. And when the expectation from my side is clear communicated, the other person, I give the other person like this, a white paper in the hand and tell them, okay, now you go home and you see my expectations, what I want from you and what should be the result of our collaboration, or what should be the result for my company. And now you go home, write on the white paper, please, what is your expectation or what exactly you need to fulfill my expectation? That there is no misunderstanding. It should be very clear from beginning. When this is done, when this person come back with this paper, I build a contract of trust with the people. I say, okay, now we have a win-win situation, eye to eye. You wrote down your expectation, I wrote down mine. We agreed that we do this together. This is our form of collaboration. Now we sign it and we build the contract of trust. Okay? So this is how I work. Always use your brain first.
Yeah.
Build your system, build your idea, and never lose the direct contact to your clients. The most important thing.
I will.
Organize like the client needed.
Exactly. Exactly. And for this, the helicopter perspective exercise that is on the screen is going to be very useful to start doing
Yeah,
this job. I will
yeah,
also say, because this is a really good topic, and delegation and when to hire and when to delegate is one of my favorite topics. So we can do a session just on that. I'll say start with this exercise and include in this helicopter perspective the in-house team, the freelancers, the agencies. Where do they sit based on the client perspective that Robert is saying. So you with your co-founder, you can start by doing this exercise and then evolve from there, but everything from the client perspective. And then you gave us a really good hint because we can do a specific session on delegation and how to structure these kind of systems. So we are out of time. We are actually 5 minutes over the time planned for the session. I want to say if you have further questions, don't doubt to please share them by email. We will be glad to revisit all of your questions and come back to you on this and schedule live sessions specifically for these questions. Because remember, this is an experiment that we are all building together. So your questions feed new content and new topics that we can talk and we can also add to your mission. So thank you again for joining us Sunday. Thank you so much, Robert, as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you all could take something at home. We have also some more in our handout, which you can download. You will find also some other interesting questions how to work on your company.
Yeah, exactly. Download the PDF.
Yeah.
Stay tuned in the emails. We're sending information there, also in the WhatsApp group, and we're growing this all together. So thank you so much for being on the other side on a
Okay.
Sunday. Thank you
Thank you
so
both.
much.
Thank you.
Stay
Have a great
epic.
one. Stay
Bye
epic.
bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Thank you. Bye.